Get this on camera, this is going to be hilarious, the waiter whispered to his coworker, smirking as he approached the table where a tired-looking man sat with his little girl. The restaurant was busy, the kind of Friday night rush where every corner was buzzing, yet all noise faded as the camera slowly zoomed onto the face of the single father. His hands were rough, his uniform jacket worn, a small military badge pinned on his chest. His daughter, no older than 7, smiled up at him with innocent pride. Little did anyone know, in less than an hour, the same man would become the greatest blessing this restaurant had ever seen, saving it from a disaster that would have shut its doors forever. Before we begin, make sure to like this story, subscribe for more real-life changer stories, and stay till the end because what happens in the final moments will leave you speechless. The veteran's name was Daniel Hayes. A former Marine, a decorated soldier, and now, a struggling single father doing everything he could to give his daughter Lily a normal life. Money was tight. Every outing was carefully planned. This dinner was supposed to be a special treat. Lily had gotten first place in her school's spelling bee, and Daniel promised her a celebration night. He had saved up tips from his part-time security job all week just to afford this one meal. As Daniel adjusted Lily's little pink sweater, the waiter, Jason, approached with a loud sigh. "Sir, this is a high-end restaurant. Are you sure you can afford this place?" His voice dripped with sarcasm, loud enough for nearby guests to overhear. A few chuckles followed. Lily's proud smile fell instantly. Daniel kept calm. "We're here to celebrate my daughter," he replied gently. "We'll start with water, please." Jason rolled his eyes. "Of course. Water. Tap water, right?" He didn't wait for an answer and walked away laughing with his coworker. Daniel held Lily's hand and whispered, "Hey, tonight is about you. Don't mind him. Okay?" But Lily's eyes watered. "Why does he hate us, Daddy?" "He doesn't hate us," Daniel smiled softly. "He just doesn't know our story." Minutes passed. The waiter intentionally delayed their order, served others first, even people who arrived after Daniel and Lily. The tension in the air grew, noticeable to a few customers. One elderly couple whispered to each other, watching closely. Daniel remained calm, until Lily whispered, "Daddy, it's okay, we can eat at home. You've already worked so hard." Before Daniel could reply, sudden screams broke out from the kitchen fire. "There's a fire!" Chaos exploded. Thick smoke rushed from the kitchen doors. Staff ran in panic. Someone yelled that the fire suppression system wasn't working. People began storming toward the exit, pushing past each other. Jason dropped his notepad in shock, but Daniel stood up instantly, Marine instincts kicking in. "Stay low," he commanded those around him. "Cover your mouths." He scooped Lily into his arms, pushing tables aside to make space for others to escape. Instead of heading for the door, Daniel ran toward the kitchen. "Sir, you can't go in there," a staff member yelled, but Daniel was already gone inside. Flames had erupted near the oil fryer, rapidly spreading up the wall. The head chef was unconscious, likely from smoke inhalation. Without hesitation, Daniel grabbed a fire blanket, covered the chef, and dragged him out. His hands were burning, smoke choking his lungs, but he didn't stop. He located the emergency gas valve behind the flames. Using his jacket as protection, he crawled across the floor and turned it off. The fire began to die down. Finally, firefighters burst in and took control, but it was Daniel who had already done the impossible. He had saved lives, and saved the restaurant from total destruction. Outside, guests watched as paramedics attended to the chef and Daniel. Jason, the waiter who mocked him, stood frozen. Tears filled Lily's eyes, not of fear, but pride. She held her father's hand tightly as people began to applaud. The restaurant owner, a woman in her 60s named Eleanor, walked up with tears streaming down her face. You saved everything. Not just the building. My employees, their jobs, this place is their life. How can I ever repay you?" Daniel shook his head. "I didn't do it for reward. I did it because people were in danger." Jason stepped forward, trembling. "Sir, I treated you horribly. I judged you. And I was wrong. I'm so sorry." His voice cracked as he knelt beside them. Lily, you should be proud. Your father is a real hero. Daniel smiled humbly and placed his hand on Jason's shoulder. Everyone deserves respect. Not because of what they wear or how much they have, but because you never know the battles they've fought. The very next week, the restaurant held a special event in honor of Daniel. Free meals for veterans, discounts for single parents, and portraits of local heroes on the wall. Daniel's picture was placed at the center. Jason personally served Daniel and Lily, making sure they had the best dining experience any guest had ever received. As Daniel stood to thank the crowd, the room went silent. I fought wars overseas, he began emotionally. But the hardest battles I face are the ones I fight every day as a father, making sure my daughter knows she is loved, safe, and respected. What happened that night wasn't about bravery. It was about doing what's right. And if this moment teaches anything, let it be this: never judge someone by their appearance. You don't know their sacrifices, or how they might change your life one day. The entire restaurant stood and clapped. Lily hugged him tightly, whispering, "Daddy, I'm proud you're my hero." And as the screen begins to fade, the narrator speaks. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can change lives, hit the like button and subscribe. Because heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes, they're just dads trying to do their best.